Would you like to tell us a little bit about how you came to meet Shaykh Umar?
Yeah, that was quite an experience. We were both invited. What is called a mod. I don't know if many of you know what mod is, but it's a storytelling which started in America about 20 years ago. People used to go to pubs or public places, and they used to put a couple of names into a hat, and some names were picked up, and these people had to go on the stage and tell a real story about themselves, which lasts only about 15 minutes. Now it's spreading that they have a big following. There are about 12 million followers to this mod phenomena, and they brought it here to Ireland. And one day they contacted me and they asked me if I prepared to tell a story. And I said, I have many stories, but my story is not suitable for this. I thought that they speak sort of stories, humor, and something that people can enjoy. And my stories are not very enjoyable. But then they sent me a sample, and there was some other survivor that told this story, so I said I will participate. And Shaykh Umar was also invited to tell his story. So while we were there, it took a couple of days, we had to rehearse it, and we met several times. And after the event, which was very successful, we were saying goodbye to each other. We became quite friendly with Shaykh Umar, and Shaykh Umar suddenly told me, Tomi, would you come to the mosque and tell your story in the mosque? And I was really very surprised. I said, Shaykh Umar, you want me, a Jew, a Holocaust survivor, to speak in a mosque? The Muslims don't believe that the Holocaust even happened. And Shaykh Umar, no, that's not true. We are very progressive, and I will speak to my committee, and I would like that you come. And I said, well, if you want me to come, I will do it with greatest pleasure to think. So the challenge was, I got about 20 minutes. Shaykh Umar said, you have to speak about 20 minutes. And I said, I thought to myself, the challenge will be to speak to these people and convince them in these 20 minutes that the Holocaust did happen. And I like to pass it to Shaykh Umar and tell his side of the story.
Before Shaykh Umar comes in, naturally he told me, and I said, we have to film this, because this is an historic moment. And I'm glad he called me that day. Shaykh Umar.
So, as Tomi just has mentioned, that we met at the Mod, and when I invited him, he thought that this was really strange, as he assumed Muslims do not believe in the Holocaust, which is not accurate, because Muslims are a very diverse community. Not all have the same beliefs. The majority of the Muslims, for example, are not represented by Iran or by Saudi Arabia. So the position of these countries do not represent the majority of Muslims. The majority of the Muslims would agree and would actually acknowledge and accept that the Holocaust has taken place. However, there are elements in the community that would oppose that. So for Muslim leaders, it is important, I think, and for all religious leaders, all community leaders, to facilitate dialogue, to facilitate meetings where people meet each other and can discuss and share their experiences, their human experiences. Sometimes these are very positive experiences, but also they are very sad and tragic experiences. So Tomi accepted the invitation, And the great thing is that the day that suited us happened to be the day it was his 80th birthday. So he told me, but Shaykh Umar, that's my birthday. And I said, well, you know what? Why don't we celebrate your birthday in the mosque? So we ended up not only inviting Tomi to the mosque to share his story, we ended up celebrating his birthday and having a birthday cake after this event in the mosque. So it was quite extraordinary. There were about 200 people there. Some of them, majority of them would have no problem accepting the Holocaust, acknowledging it. But there were also individuals that were looking at it very, from a critical perspective. And it was very important that Tomi would, share his experience, and they would see what the effects were. One particular gentleman from Belfast had come, and after Tomi shared his story, he said in his remarks, he said, until today, every time I looked at a Jewish person, I looked at it like from, I thought that this person represents the Zionist regime, this person represents Israel, this person represents the oppression of the Palestinians. But he said, I was so wrong. And until today, I believe the Holocaust did not take place. And he said, but today, listening to you, I look at it now totally from a different perspective. And I now understand I cannot paint everybody with the same brush. I understand that the Holocaust has taken place, and I can see the effects of it through your story. I think that positive change in the mindset of people, in their view and opinion, that people that had prejudice, because this is a person who had prejudice, this is a person who had misconceptions, misunderstandings, and he looked at Jewish people with a particular perspective in mind, and to change that from a very negative to a very positive. What did it take? It took about 20 minutes of listening to the story of Tomi. And I think that's the great thing about interaction, about dialogue. And what I did on that day, some Muslims within my community, they were a minority, they did oppose this. They said, well, this is really untraditional. Why are you doing this? But the majority was very, very supportive. And they understood. And I told them that what I am doing, inviting a Jewish member, a member of the Jewish community, or a non-Muslim, to the mosque, it's not something new. The Prophet Muhammad, 1400 years ago, had invited Christians and Jews to the mosque. He had dinners with them. He was friends with them. I mean, we have to understand that the primary sources of all religions, whether it is Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, or any other religion, all talk about peace, tolerance, and acceptance. And it's very sad that when religious people become the most intolerant.
Okay, thank you, Shaykh.